Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about a witchy birthday. So I am turning 26 this month, and for me birthdays are always, and always have been, kind of a big deal. A lot of people, once you turn 21, you don't really care about your birthday anymore. I think that's kind of lame because it is definitely a privilege to get. Not everyone gets to see their birthday the coming year. And like, as somebody who many a year didn't know if I was gonna make it, because my health, I have a very rare disease, and so it was a real possibility for a while that we didn't know if I was gonna make it. And so when I'd get to my birthday, it was a huge accomplishment. Like, I did it, I made it, I got another year in. And so I've always maintained that, even though now pretty well managed on all things. And so it still has always been ingrained. Like, it is a privilege. It is a wonderful thing that I get to live another year. And when people complain that they're like, oh my god, it's like, dude, what's the alternative? Like, you want to be dead? Like, you can't go backwards in time. You can only go forward. So like, be happy about it. With that said, birthdays are huge for me, and so I do a lot of ritual work around my birthday. I think this is a wonderful time to check in on yourself, analyze the past year, see where you're at overall in your life. And so these are just a few of the witchy things that I do for birthdays. Of course, this is by no means the extended list of everything you could do, but this is quite a few that I do. So number one is very easy. You can make a magical cake. And now that I am the one who is basically the housewife, I stay home. I do not have to clock in for my job. I work when I can. Because of that, I will be making the birthday cakes, probably my own included, which means I can add a lot of the ingredients that I want. I can pick a flavor with different things that I could add in. If you want to make it by scratch, you can, or go buy a box and just add a little bit here and there and focus on the properties that you want to bring in. And so for me, like, if there's something that I want to focus on in the coming year, add that in. Or if you want to add a little bit of candle magic as well, pick your intention for the coming year. Most people, you know, you have your birthday cake, you blow out your candles, you make a wish. Just kind of intensify that a bit. Color code your candle to whatever you're trying to manifest. And then, again, ingredients. And you don't necessarily have to do a cake. Some people do pies, some people do cupcakes. Like, you know, whatever sweet treat you want to do for your birthday. Just adding a little bit of, like, the kitchen witchery mindset of, like, what ingredients are you using? What are the properties? What are you trying to get for the coming year? This next one is a burning ritual fire. So I love to do fires. We have to definitely be careful because wildfires are a thing and the state is very dry. There's already a fire going on, not totally close to us, but within like an hour. And so definitely gotta be careful with this one. Extra caution to be used. And with the winds that we've been having, I don't know if this is going to happen this year. Typically, I will like to do some kind of a fire releasing thing. Since we probably will not do an actual fire again, let's not burn everything to the ground. I will probably substitute this with a candle and have it in a safe place. More likely than not, if I want to do it outside, I'll have it in a container. I actually have a lantern that I bought eons ago around Halloween, but burn it in there or just somewhere safe. Again, don't want to catch everything on fire, so I don't know if we'll do one because we've had a lot of crazy winds this year. But to do a fire and just release everything from the past year, a lot of times for several years now, there's been not great things every year that happens, and it's just a good way to release it and just be like, you know what? I relent, I give it back to the universe. Let's reuse this energy for something better because it is not serving me anymore. And some people might do that at Samhain or the New Year. I think it's perfectly fine to focus on years of different aspects because the calendar year and your birth year always are a little different for me. So for me, I like to do my burning time at my birthday. Again, a lot of people like to do it at Samhain. I don't. I'm kind of reevaluating like what stuff I want to do at Samhain, especially now that I have all of the time to do whatever I want. It makes it a lot easier. So for me, I'd still always at my birthday, it's always just like I look back on where I was a year ago to where I am now and what worked, what didn't, release what didn't work. Another thing I really love to do, and I've done this for a number of years now, write a letter to you 1 year out. So typically I will write, dear, like for this coming year, it'll be, dear 27-year-old me. And then I'll talk about where I'm currently at and what's going on. And also including like looking back on the past year and being like, wow, this is where we got to now, and you know, the thoughts and processes from the past year, and then looking forward into the coming year. And so for me, that letter is uberly important, because looking back, it is crazy to see what I was working on, what things have continued for years. For example, the book that I'm working on getting published soon, that one has been on my lists since 2014, because I published book 1 in 2014, right after my birthday. And like at that point I was getting just the formatting taken care of, because I'd never done that before and it took a while. But once I have that done, then it's like, oh, I have like a lot of years just continuously every year being like, I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get this done. And this year it's actually happening. Like, I have the draft done, we're working on edits right now, and then I'm finishing up on the 3rd one in this coming year, and then I'll have more coming. And those will be much easier, because writing a series was truly the worst decision I made. But like, it's weird to see where I was and like where my focus was and how I was working towards it. And now I can have like a much more realistic plan of like, this is what's gonna happen and how. So writing all of that down and being like, this is how many books I want published by the time I'm 27, and being realistic with it, and let alone like where I want my channel and my goals and stuff, and just like overall in life, because again, this is my last birthday before I get married. So like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to write about that it's like, holy crap, this is where I'm at right now. And then in a year I can look back and be like, wow, interesting to see how much has changed. So I love to do that, and that's kind of the next point, is I'll review from the previous year and be like, okay, so that was what I was working on. Did I accomplish it? Why or why not? Do a little bit of shadow work with that of like, okay, like my book, why has it taken so long to get it done? What is the thing holding me back? And just like, where was I with mental health and physical health, and you know, what have I done to work on it? If I haven't done anything, figure out why and how I'm going to change that, stuff like that. A lot of this, again, a lot of people will do this at New Year's. They will also do it at Samhain. Personally, if you want to kind of break it down, I do me stuff on my birthday, craft stuff, typically like witchcraft things, at Samhain. So like, that's when I'll be ending Inner Temple of Witchcraft, moving into Outer Temple of Witchcraft. And then at Yule is typically more for like the mundane life. So that's when I focus on career specifically, and just kind of health and wellness. But again, also at my birthday, I kind of do that too. So it kind of just depends on the year and kind of what's going on. But like, if I can maintain what's going on with me at my birthday up until the new year, then I don't really have to worry about it. But like, let's be honest, holidays happen, and it's a really good time to get back on track of like, maybe we don't need a bunch of sweets every single day, because it's like the season of sugar from like October until January. Just continuous good food, but it's constant. So at that point, most of us have fallen off the bandwagon of like trying to stay healthy. So that's like my reset time too. But really, I tend to focus on the career stuff, especially now that I'm doing it full time at Yule. So this is just kind of more overall me at my birthday. And then the last thing that I tend to focus on for my birthday, and the years that I don't do this, I really notice, and that is to pick an archetype thing that I'm going to work and strive towards. So when I was like a teenager, I really focused in on like the kind of teenage, younger witch vibe. And by that, it's like I envisioned myself as like the creepy and dark and mysterious person. I wasn't, because I'm awkward, but that's what I was striving towards. And I also grew up in like the era that now all of these teenagers are aiming towards, which is making me feel ancient. But like, growing up in like the emo and scene and goth kid era, where it was like really popular and everyone's trying to mimic us now, but like the glorified versions, not like the realistic what we actually looked like. Like, it's weird, but I was striving towards that specific thing. I would see the people on like MySpace and early days of Facebook, and you would see these people with like the beautiful hair and like crazy outfits and like crazy makeup, and like that was what I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to look like. 90% of us didn't. We tried, kind of. And then you look back and you cringe, and it's fine. But I had that image and the idea of like, I'm gonna be a witch, and to be a witch I am like confident and like snarky, and like people aren't gonna mess with me, which kind of worked, but also I was an outcast, so it wasn't that difficult to be like, don't come near me, because they didn't anyways. So like, it's fine, I can look back at it now, but I picked that image mostly because, again, that's what I was going through, and I liked the idea of witchcraft, and a lot of teenagers tend to fall into that as well. But I always had the image of like, I like Halloween, I like things goth, I like things dark and creepy, and that's what my image was. And then as I kind of got out of school, I changed it a lot. And then I was like, I am gonna be the complete opposite, and I'm gonna like tap into like this, I don't know about other people, but like when you go to college, like that era, whether you go to college or you're just in your late teens, early 20s, like I was in college for some of that, and then some of it I just, you know, got to work endlessly. But like at that point I wanted to be, you know, the girl with the pretty light colored hair and wore like, you know, shorts and like these cute little shirts and was just like more love and light and sunflowers and chill and whatever. And I was aiming towards like that mindset of like kind of that, like those van life videos that you see and like the photos and stuff and see on like Instagram that you know isn't real, but like that image. I was like kind of striving towards that ish. And then I changed it up again, and then I unironically and kind of unintentionally really picked the idea of like, you're just stuck at a job, like 9 to 5, like that song becomes your anthem because you're like, oh my god, like the idea that you don't like your job, but you have to go, and you go to work every single day because you need a paycheck, and it sucks to be there, and nobody likes to be there, but you have to do it. And like into this mindset of like, work sucks. I know, you know, like all of the songs and like the imagery of like, everyone hates your job. You know, there's so many memes out there of like, when your boss says you can leave early, and then it's like Squidward just like walking out the door. Like that kind of imagery and that archetype was what I have lived the past few years, because work does suck. I really do not thrive in a full-time workplace. It's really hard for me to do. I can do it, but it is so exhausting, and every other part of my life falls into shambles. And so like I really honed in on that archetype for a very long time. And so now I'm like, no, let's change the narrative, because no. So like now I'm moving more into like the cozy witch, but also like full-time creator vibes. Like, because I want to do witchcraft all the time, because I can, I'm home. Just like the idea of like being the creative, and like there's a lot of things and a lot of archetypes that I'm like kind of throwing around in my brain, because I think at any given time I will always have two simultaneously going at all times. But anyways, so yeah, just picking an archetype. I remember when I was transitioning from teenager and the teen years into the 20s, like I did all of these big rituals and all of these things because I wanted to be a grown-up. I wanted to feel like an adult. And now that I'm here, I'm like, why did I want to be here? Like, it's nice because I do like feeling like I'm where I'm supposed to be at now, but also like it sucks to be an adult. Like, it is not a fun time. It can be, but again, work sucked a lot. And now that I'm doing this, it is a lot better. But it was a struggle to get here. So anyways, that is going to be it for just a few ideas. Again, there's plenty of other things that you can do, but a lot of us don't put a huge emphasis on your birthday anyways, so just a little bit to throw in for celebrating your birthday in a magical way. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I do post every single day, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a Patreon that you can check out as well. I post there fairly often.